5 minutes. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We really appreciate so very much each and every one of you for your interest, your commitment, and your desire to be a part of the restoration and renovation of the Northeast Quadrant. I'm Leonard Benton. I'm the receiver for the Freedom Center. I'm also the chairman of the newly reconstituted Board of Directors. I'd like to invite a person who is a very important person in our organization to participate in the presentation that we have for you this morning. And that is the person of Mrs. Joyce Jackson. Joyce.
Thank you. Good morning again. I just wanted to give you a couple of facts about the Freedom Center. I don't know how much you guys know about the Freedom Center, but it was actually started as the mobile gas station here in 1945. Miss Looper, who had the vision for making some changes in the community, and I hope all of you are aware of who Miss Looper was. Miss Looper was a school teacher, started off at Dungy and Spencer Dungy High School. In Spencer, she was a historian and a civil rights activist. In August 1958, Clara Looper started the Oklahoma City sit-in movement. And there were lots of kids involved, but there was an original group of 13 that went to Cat's drugstore downtown Oklahoma City. The sit-in lasted 6 years. And in case you didn't know, Oklahoma City sit-in was the longest, most significant event in the civil rights movement across the nation. It was the only non-violent 6-year event, and it closed a lot of, well, it opened the doors to a lot of businesses at that time. In 1965, the Freedom Center Incorporated was created. In 1967, under Miss Clara Looper's leadership, arrangements were made to acquire the building, which was no longer the mobile station at that time. And the building became the home to the NAACP Youth Council. I remember us coming down here sometime. I was one of Ms. Looper's students at Dungy, and I was also a member of the city, not the original 13. I came a couple of years later. The building served as an organizing hub for fair housing and other protest marches. And Ms. Looper, according to Ms. Looper, the purpose of the Freedom Center was to serve as an educational and motivation center for culturally disadvantaged children. In 1968, a fire nearly destroyed the center. No one was ever charged with arson. In 1969, Mayor Ron Norick appointed the Mayor's United Citizens Committee for the reconstruction of the NAACP Youth Council Freedom Center. In 1969, Lieutenant Governor George Nye spoke at the groundbreaking ceremony. In 1970, they held an open house, which was held in the refurbished building at that time. Over the next 50 years, the Freedom Center Incorporated continued serving as a vital resource to young and old alike, providing training, education classes, mentoring programs, voter registration drives, fundraising campaigns, and community meetings.
We have a new board of directors. We have begun the process of organizing a strategic plan. You have before you our proposal that was just approved by our board of directors last week, that we are planning to offer a 2-phase development project to the city of Oklahoma City, to the mayor to be considered as a part of MAP 4, and that we think we have an innovative idea, a great idea, a very much needed type of development for our community. You have given affirmation to the dream that we have, that there will be hundreds and thousands of buses coming to this designated site in the future to learn about the great, unique history this was the first site of the first city-in movement in this country. And the tactics and the models that were developed here under the leadership of Mrs. Looper, they were replicated by organizations, civil rights organizations throughout the country, including probably the more famous one in North Carolina. We ask for your support. You can do that immediately. We're meeting with the mayor in short term, and we would hope that you would go online to the site and indicating your support and approval. A letter, a telephone call is even better, but to go on the site in terms of supporting the establishment of the Oklahoma City Clara Looper Civil Rights Center, a unique historic development here in Oklahoma City. We appreciate your support and keep it up.
Customers. So, hi, cousin. So, I think I'm supposed to talk about Florence's. Is that right?
Yeah. I just wanted to thank you for the lunch.
You are so. Everybody enjoyed it. Okay. So, Florence's. How many people have never been here? Shame on you. Okay. So, Florence's is a 67-year-old East Side institution. I don't know where you've already been. But Florence actually graduated from Douglas High School, which I think you're going to. Her picture is actually up on the wall. I cry every time I see it in there. And this restaurant actually started at 916 Northeast 4th Street. And at one time, it was at 905, which is right next door to the Jewel Theater, which we're also going to. We weathered a lot of storms. Florence has moved here in 1969. When 23rd Street was not what it is now. Churches was actually a lumber yard when we moved here. And we've seen this growth, we've seen the decline, and now we're about to see growth again, and we're so excited and happy. In the restaurant industry, an independent usually lasts about 10 years. And we are about to move into our 7th decade in business. Florence is now 88 years old. She's in the kitchen right now making pear pies. And the only other thing, I know I have 5 minutes, right? Florence continues to grow. We released a retail product line about 3 years ago. It is now being repackaged so that hopefully it can be competitive on store shelves. So hopefully you'll see that before the end of the year. We're about to release a YouTube channel. It doesn't quite have a name yet. Its working title right now is Florence's Daughter. We'll see, because the YouTube channel will be more about being a second-generation business owner and being an independent, and what it takes to bring a 67-year-old business into the 21st century. Although it will also have some content about recipes and those kind of things. Can I answer any questions?
How's the food made?
How is the food made? I'm glad you asked that. Florence was born on a rural farm in Boley, Oklahoma. And all of the recipes, most of the recipes that we use are the recipes that my grandparents made on the farm in Boley, Oklahoma. Every single thing we make is fresh. We don't make anything that comes from a can. Northeast Oklahoma City, this zip code 73111, has the highest concentration of diabetes and high blood pressure. Our vegetables, obviously we have some things that if you have those things you shouldn't eat. We're across the street from Church's Chicken. We sell more chicken than we do anything else. But we do have healthy options on our menu. It does indicate our healthy vegetables that are cooked with no meat, low sodium, also vegan and vegetarian options. We are hoping as we move forward and 23rd Street starts to expand, Florence's will also expand. Right now we have the capacity to seat about 80 people. I don't know that we will grow much beyond that, as much as we'll grow in different ways. We will have a prepped food line, which if you have those problems, we'll be able to address those with food that you'll be able to buy that's healthier but also tasty. What else? Anybody else have any questions? Good.
What are your hours?
Kinds of pies do you make?
How many different kinds of pies do we make? Well, Florence, it's hard to pin Florence down because she's 88 and she does what she wants to do. But, you know, she made a pear pie about a month ago and it has taken on a life of its own. So we're making pear pie every day right now. But until then, we have a fried pie call list. That we have to call people when we have fried pies. We have every kind of fried pie you can think of. Sweet potato, raisin is actually my favorite. Cherry, apple, whatever, every kind of pie you can think of.
Tell us your hours.
All right, so my time is up.
What's your hours?
Hours of operation.
Oh, my hours are operating. I am open Monday through Friday from 10:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. until we get that liquor license. And then we'll push back till about 8-9 o'clock. I think we're probably about 8 weeks away, I'm guessing, from a liquor license, just beer and wine. And we are open every first Saturday only from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock, and we actually stand out in our front of house, and my cooks throw omelets up, custom omelets, waffles. There are like 4 different kinds of waffles. We give away mimosas. They're delicious. They're made with our freshly squeezed lemonade. They are unbelievable.
Thank you.
So thank you. Enjoy your tour of Northeast Oklahoma City.
My name is Michael Abdulaziz Gibson. I'm a member of the Muslim community, the indigenous Muslim community here in Oklahoma State, really. I'd like to first greet you as we greet everyone in the greetings of peace and paradise of Assalamu alaikum. Of course, you know the return greeting is wa alaikum salam, which means peace be unto you. What better way to greet someone than with peace? Much better than how you're doing. Sometimes someone might really tell you and hurt your feelings. So it's better to just wish them peace regardless of the condition that they're thinking. And we find that to be the best way to go forward. The Muslim community here in Oklahoma City, or the state of Oklahoma, was established in the early 60s. We progressed in the late 70s to this building, the brown building just ahead of you. In that building we had Muhammad Ali and many other Muslim dignitaries come here. Our whole mission and our vision statement is to build a model community. And in building a model community, we build off what we learned during the early times of Islam in Oklahoma and in the United States during the period of the Nation of Islam. During that period of time, the Nation of Islam taught the African American about first how to love self, and then how to build and grow for self, to learn the value of building a community for yourself, by yourself, to embrace your own humanity. And as we continue to grow and gain more knowledge of Islam, we found the value of appreciating the religious impact of Islam and how it develops and grows a person spiritually and with humanity. I can tell you right now that this masjid right here, we have several programs that we're doing right now. We have backpack giveaways. We have some of the things that we do. We do the backpack. We do an open mosque day where we invite our Christian brothers and sisters from other faiths to this masjid. And I can tell you that Islam is one of the Abrahamic faiths, along with Judaism and Christianity. And of course, one of the most common things, and the primary difference between Christianity and Islam is that we believe in only one God. But with regards to all of the prophets that exist in both the Bible, it also exists in the Quran. So the two religions are very, very similar, very, very close. I can tell you that as our future grows forward, we have plans for a free clinic that's going to be built here. We'd like you to come back sometime next year. It should be full of people. It'll be open on the weekends primarily to get it started. Is that enough? I can go on. You're welcome to come and visit us anytime. The Muslims pray on Fridays, the Jews pray on Saturdays, and the Christians pray on Sundays.
Tell us about your mural.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Funches. As part of the beautification projects of expanding the awareness, the African American awareness in Northeast Oklahoma City, a beautiful mural has been built, sponsored by Ms. Funches and her group, the Black Museum.
Oklahoma Black Museum and the Lynn Institute.
The Oklahoma Black Museum and the Lynn Institute. It's a beautiful mural. It shows our founder of Islam, which is Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and his wife Clara. Our current who's deceased leader, who was his son, Imam Wafi Muhammad, Malcolm X, and Muhammad Ali. Five of the most significant figures that we have in our religion. So thank you all. Enjoy your day. Assalamu alaikum.
My name is Arthur Hurst, and I'm the owner of the Jewel Theater. Look closer. Okay. A little history about the theater. Percy James was the original builder of this theater. He built it in 1931. He built 4 theaters. This was just one of them. He had one in Ardmore, one in Amarillo, and one in Wewoka. So this is the only one left here in the city. It's the only historically black theater in Oklahoma City. But this building's like 28 feet wide. It's 128 feet long. And at one time it housed plays, live music, and the latest films that came out. Back in the late 60s, late 50s, CinemaScope came out. So this theater had an old screen in it, and an old screen for the type of movies that they were putting out at the time. So when CinemaScope came out, they had to redo the theater, add a wider screen so that they could accommodate those movies. The first movie they showed here on CinemaScope was the 10 Commandments, which they still show sometime today. But the theater was always a The theater was always a great part of the community here. I started going to the theater when I was in grade school. I got to know the fella that owned it, and he closed it in the late 70s. So just knowing him and knowing his wife when they ran the theater, because I was just my regular hangout on Saturday afternoons was at the theater. I talked to him about it because he had closed it and had turned it into a TV repair shop. Well, talking to him about it and asked him what he wanted to do with it, and tell him what I thought about it and what I would like to do with it, he agreed to sell it to me. So for that time, I've had it since '82. And with the idea of reopening it and being able to show all the old movies that it once showed here. And they have a lot of things for kids because, like I said, at one time it had live entertainment, they had a stage in there, and so I would like to redo the theater and bring all that back to life. Plus, it's a great thing for the community as far as the theaters are concerned here. So,
Anybody's interested in helping with that effort?
I've gotten some sort of help with it, not a lot, so it's just mostly been a kind of a struggle trying to get people to donate money for it, to get it refurbished, bring it up to date. We have all the modern things about theater and what have you that they have now, because they have movies now, theater projectors now that show the old movies and show the new ones too. So with that in mind, I'm hoping to get that done.
Created a non-profit, right?
Yeah, it's a non-profit for it also.
So if somebody wanted to donate, how would they do that?
I'll give you a flower here in just a minute. You're more than welcome to donate.
Would you mention some of the bands that you supported?
Oh, geez. Most of the bands at the time, I was too young to be in there. Cab Calloway. So, yeah. They had 2 other theaters here that were on the east side. They had the Ardress Theater, which was a larger theater,
First one.
and the east side was a smaller theater. It was practically about the same size as the Jewel. But the Ardress Theater, well, like I said, it was a lot larger theater and more of an entertainment center, I guess. And it was the largest business district on the east side. 4th Street was the next largest over here. So we had just about anything you could think of over here on the east side. In this neighborhood here, we have restaurants, there was a drugstore across the street, there was a dry cleaners across the street, there was a printing shop by Little Oasis block, the grocery store up on the corner. They had a hotel next door to the theater. So it was a lot of just about anything you could think of in the line of business, and small business and restaurants and what have you. Anyone else?
What did the movies cost you back then when you were a kid?
10 cents.
Big as a wagon wheel.
City lights.
Anyone else have any questions? I might be able to answer for you.
Thank you so much. Financing, have you had problems financing on this side of town with the theater or any other businesses that you know of?
Somewhat. I was in sort of the real estate business for a while and buying property and what have you, but I guess never at the time I didn't have a serious amount of problems, but I was buying houses and what have you, lots and what have you, so it wasn't like I was buying buildings. I had 2 buildings. I used to own a building up the street also, and this one here.
But what about Leora Hodge? Where is she located?
She was located right here on this
Is
corner.
something going on in her building right now?
No, they tore the building down. It was building, her beauty shop was set right here on this corner right here. They tore it down about a year and a half ago, which would have been a nice building to save also. Also, it had a mural on one side of the building. They had painted on that building, I guess, maybe back in the 30s or something. And they covered it up with brick, and the guy that was turning the brick off the building discovered the painting behind there. Somebody cut the whole wall out the next night.
And did what with it?
That's a good question. But it was a nice, just really preserved, just like it was, they had just painted it. And he came and told me, I was over here fooling with the theater one evening. He came and showed it to me. The next day, I came down here, someone had cut the whole wall out.
What was it? What was on the mural?
It was just an advertisement of some sort that they had painted on the side of the building. But it was, like it was just painted there. It was like a brand new painting because it had been hid behind those brick all those years. So it was really pretty nice. All the colors were right, bright, what have you. And that's why I guess he came and told me about it to show it to me. And the next day we came down here, they had cut the wall out.
And your name again, sir?
My name's Arthur Hurst.
Thank you.